What up, though? We been talking greasy. We been rhyming. It was an Indian dude from the landmass we term India, Punjabi and all that. The Indian dude who was the first generation from his homeland born in America greeted me by saying, "What's poppin'?" It took me a minute to respond because I wasn't used to hearing that slang that I've been hearing on the west side since I was a shorty come from the mouth of someone born within the past 25 years and who was the first generation of his family to be born in America, greeting me like he knew the origin and fabric that term, "what's poppin'," was weaved from. I realized that it was so-called hip-hop, or at least the business of hip-hop, that relinquished our origins without understanding. I'm empathetic to the power that such illusions demand and require of its subjects. Samuel Johnson's Dictionary, 1755. Music. Music. The science of harmonical sounds. Instrumental or vocal harmony. Noah Webster's American Dictionary of the English Language, 1828. Music. Melody or harmony. Any succession of sounds so modulated as to please the ear, or any combination of simultaneous sounds in accordance or harmony. Music is vocal or instrumental. Vocal music is the melody of a single voice or the harmony of two or more voices in concert. Instrumental music is that produced by one or more instruments. Any entertainment consisting in melody or harmony. The science of harmonical sounds, which treats of the principles of harmony or the properties, dependencies, and relations of sounds to each other. This may be called speculative or theoretical music. The art of combining sounds in a manner to please the ear. This is practical music or composition. Order, harmony in revolutions, as the music of the spheres. Dictionary.com. Music, an art of sound in time that expresses ideas and emotions in significant forms through the elements of rhythm, melody, harmony, and color. The tones or sounds employed occurring in single line melody or multiple lines harmony and sounded or to be sounded by one or more voices or instruments, or both. Musical work or compositions for singing or playing. The written or printed score of a musical composition. Such scores collectively. Any sweet, pleasing, or harmonious sounds or sound. The music of waves. Music. British dictionary definitions for music. An art form consisting of sequences of sounds in time, especially tones of definite pitch, organized melodically, harmonically, rhythmically, and according to tone color. Such an art form characteristic of a particular people, culture, or tradition. Indian music, rock music, Baroque music. The sounds so produced, especially by singing or musical instruments. Written or printed music, such as a score or set of parts. Any sequence of sounds perceived as pleasing or harmonious. Rare, a group of musicians. Britannica Online Encyclopedia. Rap, musical style in which rhythmic and or rhyming speech is chanted. Rap, musical style in which rhythmic and or rhyming speech is chanted. History of hip hop, how it became a global phenomenon. From the Bronx to the world, the birth and evolution of hip hop. This is from redbull.com. Born out of the New York street culture of the 1970s by Josh Hall. By most accounts, hip hop has a specific birthplace, so specific, in fact, that it has a street address 5220 Sedgwick Avenue, the Bronx, New York. Boasting, chatting, and rudimentary rapping have been a major part of reggae and dancehall since the middle of the century, and its antecedents can be traced back even further to the griot musicians of West Africa. That first rap record was, of course, the 1979 single Rapper's Delight from the Sugar Hill Gang. Although other records had incorporated rapping, Rapper's Delight was the first single to bring hip hop to a mainstream audience, and suddenly America was introduced to this radical new music. As Raekwon said in a 2011 Red Bull lecture, their unique style was born of their environment. All that was natural. The Birth of Rap, A Look Back, World Cafe, NPR. NPR, World Cafe, The Birth of Rap, A Look Back, February 2007, David Dye. Birth of Rap. Curtis Blow was the first rapper to sign with a major label, the first to earn a certified gold single, and the first to tour internationally. Grand Wizard Theodore was the DJ who invented scratching, utilizing turntables as an instrument to be played. Rap as a genre began at block parties in New York City in the early 1970s when DJs began isolating the percussion breaks of funk, soul, and disco songs and extending them. MCs tasked with introducing the DJs and keeping the crowd energized with talk between songs, joking and generally interacting with the audience. It became common for the MCs, or rappers as they soon became known, to talk and rhyme over and in sync with the music. To talk and rhyme over and in sync with the music. Rap music provided its commercial viability in 1979 with the release of the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight. Red Bull Music Academy Daily. Interview DJ Kool Herc. From the DJ History Archives, Frank Broughton takes a walk around the Bronx with a true hip-hop pioneer. Widely recognized as the father of hip-hop, Clive DJ Kool Herc Campbell first arrived in New York as a young boy in the late 1960s, his native Kingston, Jamaica. What year did you come to New York? I came here in 1967, aged 13. Where did you live in Jamaica? My first neighborhood I lived in was Trenchtown. Did you rhyme over the records? No. So yours was very like the Jamaican way of toasting. Exactly. Did you ever play reggae? I never played too much reggae. I never had the audience for it. And people wasn't feeling reggae at the time. In New York. How much of an inspiration was Jamaica to the way you played and the way you made the music? An inspiration to me. My father knew good music. He loved music and he taught me what was good music. He was a Nat King Cole man, Johnny Ace, all the classical old R&B blues singers, Louis Armstrong, all those people, Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald. This interview was conducted in the Bronx in September 1998 by Frank Broughton. 100%. A history of Puerto Ricans' influence in hip-hop. Hot 97. 100%. A history of Puerto Ricans' influence in hip-hop. It all started at a birthday party in the Bronx on August 11th, 1973. A party at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue became the birth of hip-hop. One of the first DJs to have come to prominence is DJ Charlie Chase of the Cold Crush Brothers. As a Puerto Rican, he had to fight to be accepted in a culture that was primarily African American at the time. In a culture that was primarily American at the time. North American. He made his mark by often infusing Latin music inside of break beats to combine a brand new sound with the music from the Caribbean. Caribbean brothers and sisters. Hip-hop, a culture of vision and voice, the Kennedy Center. MCs, masters of rhythm, rhyme, and flow. The flow is the combination of rhyme and rhythm. Be warned, this is theater, but it's hip-hop theater. A loud voice booms before the curtain rises for Into the Hoods. This show has been blowing away London audiences since 2008. It is an urban revisioning of the fairy tale genre, following a pair of school kids into a tough part of town instead of a haunted forest. Hip-Hop Music Guide, History of Hip-Hop and Notable Artists, written by Master Class, June 2021. Hip hop is a genre of music most often characterized by a strong rhythmic beat and a rapping vocal track. Early hip hop music saw its roots in 1970s in New York City borough of the Bronx. New York City DJs like DJ Kool Herc, Grand Wizard Theodore, Grandmaster Flash, and Africa Bambaataa began to experiment with different techniques during parties, including longer percussive breaks called breakbeats or simply the breaks, turntable technique, scratching, freestyle, and improvised vocal based on Jamaican toasting. They're often credited as the pioneers of modern hip hop and rap music. In the 1980s, many different artists began bringing new ideas to the genre, including drum kits, especially the 808, more complex sampling, metaphorical rap lyrics, and broader collaboration with genres like electro music. The majority of hip hop songs incorporate rapping as their main vocal style, a rhythmic, usually rhymed type of chant. A rhythmic, usually rhymed type of chant. Chant. Howard University News Service. Hip hop and other songs may be harmful to one's mental health. In the past, music was recorded and mixed in 432 hertz. Hertz Hertz is the metric unit of frequency. Frequency is the number of vibrations or sound waves per second. Most classical music and R&B songs recorded in the past are examples of the good old times. From there, music took a turn for the worse. The incorporation of music recorded in 440 hertz was the main pivot in the history of music. Modern hip hop and other types of music have a very deep bass. Not only can you hear it, but you can feel the vibrations of it, said Kyle Murdoch, a DJ and audio engineer at Howard University. Listeners of music that leans more towards slow and contemporary tend to experience a slower pulse and heart rate, lower blood pressure, and decreased levels of stress hormones. The frequency at which these songs are recorded is 432 hertz. This is what gives a soothing tone to the audio files. According to German physicist Winfried Otto, the Earth has a frequency of 8 hertz, meaning that the Earth's surface vibrates 8 times a second. Binaural Beats Meditation, an organization that vends meditation remedies and short meditation sessions, explain the correlation between the Earth's frequency and a frequency of 432 hertz. If we take 8 hertz as our starting point and work upwards by 5 octaves, we reach a frequency of 256 hertz, in whose scale the note A has a frequency of 432 hertz, according to the article Unearthing the Truth Behind Nature's Frequency. Octaves are a series of notes between two different pitches. One pitch has half the frequency of the other, so if we reach the 5 octave, the musical note A has a frequency of 432 hertz. The vibration of the Earth's center creates a tone that makes the human brain more relaxed. The A note in what pianos are supposed to be turned to Since 1953, an international agreement was put in place where A should be tuned to a frequency of 440 Hz. This was confirmed by Howard University audiologist Oveta Harris, PhD, who explained that music affects auditory processing in a variety of ways, even though it sounds like a small difference. Music created with a frequency of 440 Hz or more not only eliminates the previously described harmonization with the planet, but its vibrational pattern also stimulates the brain in opposing ways using the theory of brain waves. According to BrainWorks neurotherapy, continual high-frequency processing is not a very efficient way to run the brain, as it takes a tremendous amount of energy. DC resident Alexandra Banks' favorite songs, "It Makes Me Feel at Peace or Even Go to Sleep." When analyzed, this song has a frequency of 431.04 Hz. Meanwhile, ninth grader, "My Favorite Song Makes Me Feel Energetic." The song has a frequency of 465.5 Hz. Gym tracks. 432 Hz versus 440 Hz frequencies explained. The facts behind the two vibration waves. Hz, or Hertz, is a unit of frequency that is used to measure waves emitted by sound, light, and radio. The two sets of Hertz in question having distinctive effects on the human body, both short and long term. Heinrich Hertz was the one who discovered electromagnetic waves in the 1830s, with each unit of Hertz measuring cycles per second. There are actually a lot of scientific articles and journals supporting how different sound frequencies can affect our brain. A equals 432 Hz. A musical theory goes that the 432 Hz is the national resonance of the universe. It's a big, hefty claim. The actual fact is that the note was used as a standard bass norm in a lot of instruments in opera houses. Its rise began in Italy from the famous composer Giuseppe Verdi, with the note and frequency that would later on be called Verdi's A, or scientific pitch. Verdi used a number of frequencies on his musical instruments and had a preference for 432 Hz. It has nothing to do with the universe. However, 432 Hz does have a calming and relaxing effect on the human body. A equals 440 Hz. Unlike 432 Hz, 440 Hz is the widely accepted tuning standard due to the International Organization for Standardization. It's the westernized pitch, becoming popular and accepted in the United States of America in the years 1925 to 1939, before it became the standard all over the world in 1955. By the time the 19th century rolled around, orchestras were obsessed with having a high pitch. Difference between 432 Hz and 440 Hz. The most obvious difference between 440 Hz and 432 Hz is 8 Hz. Sounds emanating lower frequencies help lower stress levels and can improve your mood. "432 Hz, Water, the Creator is You." Masaru Emoto's experiment. Masaru Emoto, 1943 to 2014, was a Japanese researcher who has dedicated his life to the language of the water. He discovered the water has a memory and is able to store information. The most engaging aspect of the discovery is that the water reacts differently according to the information it receives, showing through its crystals forms that can be more or less harmonious. If the water is influenced by a positive information, for example, thank you, it will show its crystals in homogeneous and harmonious forms. On the contrary, the water influenced by negative information, for example, I hate you, will show crystals with uneven and amorphous forms. You are made of water for more than 70%, and the water you have in your body behaves exactly as above mentioned. Also, people around you are made of water. From this, you can well understand how your words, your thoughts, and your emotions can influence and literally change the person or the biological being to whom they are addressed, animals and food. 432 hertz, the tuning that resonates with life. Everything is energy because everything is vibrating. The information itself is vibration, since it is energy in motion. Of Masaru Emoto's experiment, he was influencing the water in various ways by writing a word on the container or by speaking the chosen word or exposing the word to different musics, different frequencies, or by communicating by heart one emotion. The results are surprising. Look. These experiments were conducted taking pictures to the frozen water samples through powerful microscopes. Look. What follows are Pig Meat Markham's lyrics to his song, Here Comes the Judge. He rapping, he talking greasy, he rhyming. I'm not gonna rap this verse for you. You read it. Add a little rhythm to it as you read it. After you leave here, go look at the video and listen. And the homie Pig Meat Markham even has what we term a real hip hop beat. Go ahead. Take a minute to read it. Rap it. Rhyme it. Where he get his style from? Here Comes the Judge by Pig Meat Markham. You can rap a little bit. Where he get his style from? Here Comes the Judge. Timeline.com. Hot Rod News. Here Comes the Judge. Timeline. April 28, 1968. Frederick Shorty Long completes production of his song, Here Comes the Judge at Motown's Hitsville studio in Detroit. June 15, 1968, Here Comes the Judge by Pigmeat Markham on the Chess Records label of Chicago, Illinois, enter Billboard's Hot 100 chart at number 82. The comedy recording remains on the chart for 8 weeks, peaking at number 19 the week of July 27th. Pigmeat Markham, age, hometown, biography, last.fm. Pigmeat Markham, biography, an American entertainer. Born April 18th, 1904. Born in Durham County, North Carolina. Died December 13th, 1981. He was 77. Pigmeat Markham was born in the community of Hayti, Durham, North Carolina. His family was the most prominent on their street. Markham has been cited as one of the progenitors of rap music. His song, Here Comes the Judge, peaked at number 19 on the Billboard and other charts in 1968. Markham died of a stroke at Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx at age 77. Pigmeat Markham, the rhymer, was born in Hayti, North Carolina in roughly 1904. Hayti, North Carolina. Where was we told rhyming started? Y'all know. I don't gotta say it. Hayti, Durham, North Carolina, Wikiwand. Hayti, Durham, North Carolina. Hayti, pronounced Haiti, also called Hayti District, is the historic African American community that is now part of the city of Durham, North Carolina. By the early decades of the 20th century, African Americans owned and operated more than 200 businesses, which were located along Fayetteville, Pettigrew, and Pine Streets, the boundaries of Haiti. During the 1880s, the neighborhood increased in population and mostly black-run businesses were established, making it self-sufficient. The community of African American majority population flourished from the 1880s through the 1940s. James E. Shepard was one of the founding fathers of Haiti. Founded the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company 1898, which became the largest and richest African American company in the United States at the time. It was the first all African American community to be fully self-sufficient. This is the map of the Hayti district of Durham, North Carolina, encompassing the North Carolina Central University, Hayti District, Durham, North Carolina. Pigmeat Markham, rapper, rhymer. I don't know if he called himself hip-hop, though. Map of removal of American Indians. If you take a look in North Carolina, Durham is where, as we see from the legend, Durham is where the buffalo range and the forest kind of intersect. The green area in North Carolina, Durham. Durham is sort of in, I guess, the central part, more a little bit to the west, but most of it's forest. And then you have the buffalo range. I only thought buffaloes were way west, but as you can see, you have the buffalo range and the forest intersect. Pig meat Markham. Some of y'all family were under the canopy, living in those forests. Who were those people living in those forests? And how long had they been living in those forests? Removal of American Indians 1830 through 1838 from the forest and from the Buffalo Range. Background information on the Hayti District. This is from ibiblio.org. Hayti District. African Americans began settling on the southwest edge of Durham, North Carolina, shortly after the Civil War. The community came to be known as Hayti, a name whites commonly use for black settlements. The community came to be known as Hayti, a name whites, pink and gray people, commonly use for black settlements. Anderson 155. Originally simply a labor pool for Durham's tobacco warehouses, Hayti soon began to prosper. In 1911, when Booker T. Washington visited Haiti, he found a city of Negro enterprises, whose citizens were shining examples of what a colored man may become. So all before I move on, we have African Americans, we have Negro, and we have colored man, all interchangeable. Haiti was home to North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company, Lincoln Hospital, and after 1910, North Carolina College for Negroes. Later, North Carolina Central University. Later, North Carolina Central University. But first, North Carolina College for Negroes. Nurtured by native sons like Blind Boy Fuller and Bull City Red. Native sons like Blind Boy Fuller and Bull City Red. In the days of segregation, Haiti was a place where African Americans could eat in restaurants, practice their trades, and call each other Mr. and Mrs., where they could stop being colored and simply be people. We move on to AAREG, African American Registry. James Shepard, educator. James Shepard was born on this date in 1875. He was a black pharmacist, community activist, and educator. Born in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was the son of Reverend Augustus and Harriet Whitted Shepherd. I think that should be Whitfield, but Harriet Whitted Shepherd. He married Annie Day Robinson. They had 3 daughters. The family settled in the Haiti district, becoming one of the development founders. He became president of the private National Religious Training School at Chautauqua in the Haiti district in 1910. When the North Carolina legislature approved state funding in 1923, the institution's name was changed to Durham State Normal School. In 1925, it became a 4-year curriculum. The institution became North Carolina College for Negroes. First, Durham State Normal School, then North Carolina College for Negroes. Shepherd died on August 6, 1947. The 1969 General Assembly established the institution as one of the state's regional universities, and the name was changed to North Carolina Central University. Etym Online, the etymology and definition of words online version. Chautauqua, Assembly for Popular Education, 1873, from town in New York, U.S., where an annual Methodist summer colony featured lectures. The name is from Jedagwe, a Seneca Iroquoian name. Seneca, American Indians. Iroquoian, American Indians. Seneca, Iroquoian name, possibly meaning one has taken out fish there. But an alternative suggested meaning is raised body. From a Dream to New Horizons, North Carolina Central University. From a Dream to New Horizons by Andre D. Van. North Carolina Central University's history is bound up in the biography of its founder, Dr. James E. Shepherd. Shepherd was a founder, builder, organizer, and administrator, but his work was not limited to institutions. He was considered one of the most gifted educators, religious advocates, and race leaders of the first half of the 20th century. In seeking support for the school, Shepherd called on friends and connections from across the United States and from varying backgrounds. Its opening day, July 5, 1910, the first students arrived to attend the National Religious Training School in Chautauqua for the colored race. The first students arrived to attend the National Religious Training School in Chautauqua for the colored race. The Chautauqua for the colored race. His parents, the Reverend Augustus and Hattie Whitted Shepherd. His father, Augustus Shepherd, was born in 1846. He attended Shaw University and became a prominent minister. His mother, Hattie, was a graduate of Hampton Institute and amongst the earliest educators in North Carolina. Here we have 1875, Dr. James Edward Shepherd, pictured far right, was born in Raleigh, North Carolina on November 3rd, 1875, to the Reverend Dr. Augustus and Hattie E. Whitted Shepherd, left and center. Reverend Dr. Augustus. He kind of looked like Pig Meat Markham. And Hattie E. Whitted Shepherd. Look at those people. Look at them. Living under the canopy. James was born in Raleigh's Oberlin community on November 3rd, 1875, the eldest of 12 siblings. 12 siblings. Now people complaining about one or two children. In 1890, Shepherd entered Shaw University at age 15 to study pharmacy, graduating in 1894. The National Religious Training School and Chautauqua for the Colored Race, the Seneca Iroquoian word, Chautauqua for the colored race. Philanthropist Brody Leonidas Duke donated 20 of the initial 25 acres for the campus on Fayetteville Street, just 1 mile outside the city limits and within the black part of South Durham called Hayti. Black part of South Durham called Hayti. Shepherd's wife, Annie Day Shepherd, the mother of 3, remarked in an article, his wife remarked in an article, "I felt pretty bad about our home, but I couldn't dream of not going along with him." She said she told him, "If this is what you want to do, we must do it." Several of the earliest buildings, including Avery Auditorium, the Dining Hall, Chitley Hall, Theology Hall, and the President's New House, were designed by noted African-American architect and designer William Sidney Pittman, who was married to Portia M. Washington and was the son-in-law of Booker T. Washington. Pittman also designed the original White Rock Baptist Church that opened in 1910 in the Hayti community. Costs to students would be kept to a minimum. 6 weeks of courses at $10 for tuition and fees and $3.50 for room and board. Early course offerings included music, commerce, religion, English, French, German, Greek, mathematics, geography, philosophy, ethics, agriculture, domestic science, basketry, dressmaking, millinery, physical education, and history. In a 1910 catalog, all profanity, obscene language, games of chance, and pool playing are strictly forbidden. Use of intoxicating liquor or tobacco in any form is forbidden. Leaving the grounds without permission or remaining in the city beyond time limits is forbidden. Absence without excuse from recitation or other regular school appointments is forbidden. During this same period, 2 fires at the school on January 28th and January 29th, 1925, destroyed the administrative building, a men's dormitory, and the dining classroom hall. Despite the damage, Durham State Normal School became the North Carolina College for Negroes. Despite the damage, Durham State Normal School became the North Carolina College for Negroes. Normal School, Negroes. By 1947, the school had been accredited by the Association of Colleges and Secondary Schools for Negroes. Africans and Native Americans. Jack D. Forbes. If you've never dug into Jack D. Forbes' book, Africans and Native Americans, and you've never dug into this painting on the front of the book, go look up that painting and learn who those people were. Learn who those people were depicting, who they were depicting with those people. From 1549 through 1565, the letters of Jesuit missionaries in Brazil, usually addressed to colleagues in Portugal or Spain, frequently refer to the Americans as Negroes. Frequently refer to the Americans as Negroes. Thus, the Jesuit father called the American women living with Portuguese men negras, a term which, according to Leet, could not have denoted people from Africa because in 1549 there were few or no African women in Bahia. When Africans are referred to in the Jesuit letters, they are always called Negros da Guinea, blacks of Guinea, to distinguish them from Negros da Terra, blacks of the land or Americans. In June 1551, Brother Diego Jacome wrote from São Vicente to the Jesuits of Coimbra, Portugal, referring to Americans as os negros. This is from the early history of the Creek Indians. Early history of the Creek Indians. The narrative of De Gorges records that Saturiwa seated him upon a seat of wood of lentesk covered with moss, made of purpose like unto his own, the rest sitting upon the ground. Perhaps these seats were of the three-leg variety used in the West Indies and throughout the southern states generally. They made their fires in the usual Indian fashion, by means of two sticks. Lemoyne figures several different kinds of pots and baskets. Some of the former are of a size and shape suggestive of Creek Sofki pots. In one picture, a large pot with a round bottom is seen placed over a fire. There are also 2 or 3 earthen pots, some with short handles, a few flat dishes or pans, and in one place are 2 large gourds of earthen jugs which seem to be provided with strap handles and to be closed by means of small earthen jars placed over them, mouth down. Laudonnière saw in the houses of one of the chiefs a great vessel of earth made after a strange fashion, full of fountain water, clear and very excellent. A little vessel of wood, used as a cup is spoken of in the same connection, and Lemoyne mentions round bottles or wooden vessels in which they carried cassin. Among baskets, we find the common southern carrying basket with the strap passing over the forehead of the bearer. Lemoyne figures sieves and fanners. In addition, however, there is a basket with two handles very much like our bushel baskets. And several baskets with one handle like European baskets. These last I believe to have been based on the imagination of the illustrator. In 1562, one of the Florida chiefs presented Ribault with a basket made of palm boughs after the Indian fashion and wrought very artificially. 3 years later, one of the lieutenants received little panniers skillfully made of palm leaves, full of gourds, red and blue. Woven mats are also spoken of. It appears from Pareja that shells were ordinarily used as drinking cups. Regarding skin dressing, Lemoyne says, they know how to prepare deer skin, not with iron instruments, but with shells, in a surprisingly excellent manner. Indeed, I do not believe that any European could do it as well. Skins, painted and unpainted, were presented to the French, and one of those given to Ribault was painted and drawn throughout with pictures of diverse wild beasts, so lively drawn and portrayed that nothing lacked but life. Lemoyne mentions green and blue stones, which some thought to be emeralds and sapphires in the form of wedges, which they used instead of axes for cutting wood. From this it appears that they probably felled trees, cleared the land, and manufactured canoes in the same manner as the other southern Indians, using stone axes and fire. Southern Indians. The South, the southern part of North America. You know, where y'all from? At any rate, they made their canoes out of single trunks of trees. Ribault says that these would hold 15 or 20 men, and he adds that they rowed, or rather paddled, standing up. The canoes illustrated by Lemoyne all have blunt bows, but those at present employed by the Florida Seminole are pointed, and the canoes recovered from time to time from the marshes also have pointed bows. Pointed bows. The use of additional pieces for the bow and stern does not seem to have been known. Lemoyne represents their paddles with rather short, wide blades, that they had means of cutting very hard substances is shown by the statement in Elvas that the Indians captured by De Soto's army would file through the irons at night with the splinter of stone. As elsewhere in the southeast, where you live, Georgia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. As elsewhere in the southeast, cane knives were extensively employed. The dog was the only domestic animal, and there is no evidence that it was used to assist in transportation. Therefore, land transportation was all on foot. Burdocks being employed to carry very heavy burdens. The chiefs, chief wives, and other principal persons were, on occasions of state, carried in litters borne on the shoulders of several men. All early Spanish travelers among the southern Indians speak of these, and Lemoyne illustrates one in which a woman is being borne on the shoulders of 4 men. She is placed on a raised seat covered with a decorated skin and protected from the sun by a structure of green boughs. Each of the bearers carries a crotched stick in one hand. The opposite end of each of these was stuck into the ground when they made a halt, and the handles of the litter were allowed to rest in the crotches. Before march 2 men blowing on flutes, and at the sides are 2 others with large feather fans on the ends of long poles. Some of these features, especially the last, seem suspiciously European, but the use of flutes before such personages is well attested. Feather fans were also employed throughout the southern area. It is rather the type of fan shown here that is doubtful. Other animals besides the dog were perhaps reared from time to time, as one of Laudonniere's lieutenants was presented with 2 young eagles by a chief who had bred them in his house. One of Laudonniere's lieutenants was presented with 2 young eagles by a chief who had bred them in his house. The statement in De Soto's letter regarding domestication of turkeys and deer is evidently a mistake. Rabault says that the tools with which they made their spades and mattocks, their bows and arrows and short lances, and with which they cut and polished all sorts of stones, oyster shells, and mussels. Rabault says that the tools with which they made their spades and mattocks, their bows and arrows and short lances, and with which they cut and polished all sorts of wood that they employed about their buildings, were certain stones, oyster shells, and mussels. They lived partly upon the natural products of the earth, but depended principally upon the chase, fishing, and agriculture. Laudonniere says, they make the string of their bow of the gut of the stag, or of the stag's skin, which they know how to dress as well as any man in France, and with as different sorts of colors. They head their arrows with the teeth of fishes, which they work very finely and handsomely. Rabault states that the shafts of their arrows were of reed. Spark is considerably more detailed. In their wares, they use bows and arrows, whereof their bows are made of a kind of yew, but blacker than ours, and for the most part passing the strength of the Negroes or Indians. The Negroes or Indians. North Carolina American Indian History Timeline. North Carolina Museum of History. North Carolina American Indian History Timeline. ncmuseumofhistory.org. AD 700 to 1550. Many groups of American Indians live in the area now called North Carolina. These include the Chawanoke, Croatoan, Hatteras, Morotoc, Succotan, Weepamoke, Wachaponga, Pamlico, Corry, Neuse River, Tuscarora, Meherrin, Cherokee, Cape Fear, Catawba, Shakori, Sissipahau, Sugary, Waccamaw, Waxhaw, Wakan, Cheraw, Eno, Kiawe, Akanichi, Saponi, and Tutelo Indians. 1540. Hernando de Soto explores the western portions of the present-day North Carolina looking for gold. De Soto and his men visit Indian communities. 1566 to 1567, Spanish explorer Juan Pardo, seeking gold, leads an expedition through what is now western North Carolina. Pardo visits the Catawba, Wateree, and Saxapahaw Indians. 1586, Ralph Lane leads an expedition into the interior of North Carolina in search of gold and other precious metals. Roanoke Indians warn inland tribes about the English. Lane makes an alliance with the Chowanoke, who hope to use the English against their enemies, the Tuscarora. 1650, white settlers began to move into Indian lands along the coastal sounds and rivers of North Carolina. 1675, Chowanoke Indians attack white settlements in Carolina. 1712, John Barnwell, a member of the South Carolina Assembly, leads about 30 whites and some 500 friendly Indians, mostly Yamasee, to fight the Tuscarora in North Carolina. A battle takes place at Narhantes, a Tuscarora fort on the Neuse River. Barnwell's troops are victorious but are surprised that many of the Tuscarora's fiercest warriors are women, who do not surrender until most of them are put to the sword. 1726 to 1739, Cheraw, Sarah Indians, Catawba, present-day Charlotte. 1736, North Carolina colony establishes Indian Trade Commission. 1738 through 39, smallpox epidemic. 1740, Waxhaw Indians, smallpox. 1760, Indian allies. 1761, an army of British regulars, American militia, and Catawba and Chickasaw Indians under Colonel James Grant defeats the Cherokee. 1775, Treaty of Sycamore Shoals between Transylvania Company and the Cherokee people. The Shawnee people refused to accept. 1747 through 1776, Coharie, Catawba, and ancestors of the Lumbee joined the Patriot cause. 1814, Cherokee Indians aid General Andrew Jackson in defeating the Creek Indians in the Battle of Horseshoe Bend in Alabama. If you want to know about what happened yesterday, look at today. Cherokee Indians aid General Andrew Jackson in defeating the Creek Indians in the Battle of Horseshoe Bend in Alabama. No, it wasn't just pink and gray people. People who look like you participated. People who look like you led the charge. Look. 1817, land in exchange for land. 1840, the General Assembly passes a law prohibiting Indians from owning or carrying weapons without first obtaining a license. Do that sound familiar? 1840, the General Assembly passes a law prohibiting Indians from owning or carrying weapons without first obtaining a license. The beginning. 1842, those Cherokee who avoided forced removal in 1838 and remained in North Carolina are given citizenship. Those Cherokee who avoided forced removal in 1838 and remained in North Carolina are given citizenship. I often say, my people from Alabama, they just don't strike me as the type of people who gonna make this journey of tears, who gonna make this long journey, who gonna just get up and leave, um, who gonna just submit, cooperate, um, comply. They stayed. A lot of y'all did. A lot of y'all stayed. A lot of us stayed. 1859, the Kohari community establishes subscription schools for Indian children. 1875, the North Carolina Constitution is changed. Free men of color, right to vote. 1888, the Indians of Person County construct a school on land donated by Green Martin. Another school will be constructed within the next few years. That was the ncmuseumofhistory.org. We're going to put a pause on the ncmuseumofhistory.org, and we're going to go to the Department of Commerce Bureau of the Census, 13th Census of the United States taken in the year 1910, statistics for North Carolina. Containing statistics of population, agriculture, manufacturers, and mining for the state, counties, cities, and other divisions. The greater part of this chapter consists of 4 general tables which present statistics of color, nativity, parentage, sex, citizenship, illiteracy, school attendance, and dwellings in families. The statistics on each subject are shown according to race, and for the white, according to nativity and parentage. Classification according to the nativity and parentage is scarcely necessary for the other races, since nearly all Negroes and Indians are native born of native parentage, and nearly all Chinese and Japanese either foreign born or foreign parentage, or of foreign parentage. The white population is divided into 4 groups. Native parentage, that is, having both parents born in the United States. Native foreign parentage, having both parents born abroad. Native mixed parentage, having one parent native and the other foreign born or foreign born. Of the total population of North Carolina, 1,500,511, or 68%, are whites, and 697,843, or 31.6%, Negroes. In 14 of the 98 counties, the population is more than 1/2 Negro, the highest percentages being those for Warren and Halifax. Of the urban population, 61.2% are native whites of native parentage. Of the rural, 68.4%. The corresponding proportions for native whites of foreign or mixed parentage are 1.4 and 0.2% respectively. The percentage of foreign-born whites is 1 in the urban population and 0.2 in the rural. The percentage of Negroes is 36.4 in the urban and 30.8 in the rural. Okay. We have the population number 1910, 1900, and 1890. So in North Carolina, white, we have 1,500,000. In 1910 and 1900, 1,263,000. In 1890, 1,056,000. Negro, 697,843. In 1900, 624,000. In 1890, 561,000. Indian, 7,800. 1900, in 1900 it's 5,600. In 1890, it's 1,500. Chinese, 80. In 1900, 51. In 1890, 32. Japanese, in 1910, it's 2. None in 1900. And in 1890, there's 1. Foreign white stock by nationality. Foreign white stock by nationality. And the different nationality of the foreign white stock are foreign white stock from Africa, Austria, Canada, Denmark, England, France, Germany, Greece, Holland, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Norway, Russia, Scotland, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey. A complete statement of the statistics of agriculture for North Carolina collected at the census of 1910. A farm, for census purposes, is all the land which is directly farmed by one person managing and conducting agricultural operations either by his own labor alone or with the assistance of members of his household or hired employees. How many of y'all old census records for y'all second grade and third grade and fourth grade, fifth grade grandparents say that they were farmers? The average size of farms operated by white farmers in 1910, 102.4 acres, was more than twice as large as that of farms of colored farmers, 48.5 acres. Both classes of farms have decreased in size between 1900 and 1910. The proportion of improved land was considerably larger for farms of colored farmers than for those of white farmers. Of the farmers in North Carolina, 188,000, or about 3/4 of the total number, were whites, and 65,600, or 25.9%, non-whites. All but 412 of the white farmers were native born. Of the non-white farmers, nearly all, 64,456, were Negroes, only 1,100 being Indians and 3 Chinese, or who they were calling Indians at that time. Okay, now we're back at the ncmuseumofhistory.org. 1939, the Indian Normal School, now the University of North Carolina at Pembroke in Robeson County, grants its first college degree. The Indian Normal School. The Indian Normal School. You remember the normal school that became the school for Negroes, the Indian Normal School. Now it's Indian on the front of the normal school. The Indian Normal School, now the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. University of North Carolina at Pembroke, Data, USA. University of North Carolina at Pembroke is a higher education institution located in Robeson County, North Carolina. The most common race ethnicity group of degree recipients was white, 602 degrees. The next closest race ethnicity group, black or African American, 449 degrees. The enrolled student population at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, both undergraduate and graduate, is 38.8% white, 30.5% black or African American, 12.6% American Indian or Alaska Native, 7.79% Hispanic or Latino, 5.77% Hispanic or Latino, 5.77%, 1.71% Asian, and 0.1% Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders. Students enrolled at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke in full-time undergraduate programs are most commonly white female, 22.1%, followed by black or African American female, 17.7%, and white male, 13.8%. Students enrolled in full-time graduate programs are most commonly black or African American female, 28.4%, followed by white female, 26.9%, and white male, 12.8%. Enrollment by race: white, 3,202; black or African American, black or African American, 2,524; American Indian or Alaska Native, 1,043. The enrolled student population at University of North Carolina at Pembroke is 38.8% white, 30.5% black or African American, 12.6% American Indian or Alaska Native, 7.79% Hispanic or Latino, 5.77%, 1.71% Asian, and 0.1% Native Hawaiian. This is the school once called the Indian Normal School. The Indian Normal School. Who are they referring to? The student demographic with the highest graduation rate at University of North Carolina at Pembroke is female and black or African American, 48.2% graduation rate. The downfall of Durham's historic Haiti. Frederick E. Ursom, Professor Charles Becker, Duke University, Durham, North Carolina, May 2010. Fred graduated with distinction in May 2010 with a BS in computer science and a minor in economics. Haiti is consistently glorified for its tightly knit and educated black community, which was supported by some of the premier black-owned businesses in the country. The urban renewal wave hit Durham in the 1960s. The construction of the Durham Freeway through Haiti put a stranglehold on the neighborhood's successful local businesses. There is little narrative history which goes beyond this simple ending to the legendary Haiti neighborhood. Haiti is right next to North Carolina Central University in Durham. Some of the most well-known black businesses in the country were run out of Durham, including Mechanics and Farmers Bank and the North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company on Parrish Street, better known as Black Wall Street. The result was a push for the urban renewal, a plan to redesign parts of the core of Durham to support economic growth. One major aspect of this plan was the addition of the Durham Freeway, North Carolina Highway 147. The project proved extremely difficult to finish in an orderly and timely manner, disrupting business and life in Haiti. Durham native Reginald Michener saw urban renewal as a chance to bloom again, along with many other citizens and officials. The center of the city was no longer necessary. The auto wave placed high importance on parking accommodations, which new retail areas outside of the city provided, and the city could not. The conclusion was to eliminate vast plots of city land for development geared in this direction, with the addition of a major freeway. Historic Haiti is billed as a thriving black community with strength in both business and culture. Haiti was seen as a hindrance to the economic growth of Durham as it was a tight neighborhood in the senses of strongly connected, inwardly focused, and constrictive to the city, handling more economic flows due to its narrow streets and densely populated communities. The freeway runs parallel to Pettigrew Street, which once served as a primary business street of Haiti. A joint effort between members of the Redevelopment Commission of the City of Durham and the consultants of the City Planning and Architectural Associates of Chapel Hill. Their characterization of Haiti as a hindrance to Durham's urban growth. The project area is characterized by poorly aligned and unimproved streets, overcrowded land, and deteriorated structures. The strip commercial development along Fayetteville Street impairs the effectiveness of the street as a traffic collector and is hazardous to motorists and pedestrians alike. The inhabitants of this area live under conditions which are unsanitary and unsafe. North Carolina General Assembly's approval of renewal in late 1957. The proposal would have created vast lots for both businesses and parking. The proposal includes extensive conditions on how families would be relocated to reasonable housing. Some believe the small shops of Haiti were successful because of segregation, as segregation was holding them up. As segregation declined and Haiti began to lose its cohesiveness due to construction, black business reeled. The expressway and 6 other projects grounded in Haiti cost a cumulative $41.6 million, including 4,057 household and 502 businesses across Durham, which were condemned and forced to relocate. The project ended up taking roughly 14 years, with very few investors coming in to build on the expansive lots created. Low-cost apartments replaced historic neighborhoods. The new development mandate reveal: Haiti must be developed as a unique district with its own distinct character, land use, mixture, and image. Haiti is next to North Carolina Central University in Durham. The areas are also almost 100% black, as Haiti reported only 2 non-black residents over the 2-decade period in question. At Haiti, 1960 census data, 1960 snapshot, white in Haiti, 0, black in Haiti, 3,101, other race, 1. Haiti was a dense and thriving black business center and residential neighborhood. When Haiti was hit with the revitalization and the construction of the Durham Freeway, businesses and residential areas were destroyed. Residents were forced to either move because their housing or local place of work was destroyed. U.S. Census Bureau, quick facts. Person County, North Carolina. Population estimates, July 1st, 2022. White alone, 69%. Black alone, 26%. American Indian, 1%. Early History of the Creek Indians and Their Neighbors by John R. Swanton. The Spaniards have visited several regions of that vast country. They are called Arambi, Guacay, Quohath, Tanzaka, and Pahor. The color of the inhabitants is dark brown. None of them have any system of writing. They preserve traditions of great antiquity in rhymes and chants. We been talking greasy. We been rapping. We been rhyming. Do the right thing.